Good morning. We are One Chicago. 15 years ago, I became an educational researcher on the West Side after teaching 5 years on the South Side, and I was asked, do you understand students on this side of town? This was a strange question to me. The students in highly segregated schools on both sides of town dressed alike, listened to the same music, ate the same foods. The families on both sides of town shared a common history of economic and racial isolation and exploitation during the Jim Crow South that led many to travel to Chicago during the Black migration before settling on the South Side, on Central Avenue, or the West Side. It was this deep history of both sides of town that shaped me. My father from the West Side, my mother from the South Side. It was this deep history that shapes the conversations I now have with my wife. A young man from Chicago's South Side married a young woman from Chicago's West Side. As we discuss the tragic deaths of so many African-American boys whose blood continues to drip on the inner city asphalt, we do not give greater attention to one over the other because of the side of town. When visiting juvenile correction facilities, it's hard for me to distinguish between the South Side and West Side school-to-prison pipeline. This would be a strange balkanization that does not make sense. Balkanization has no place in the city as we think about ways to preserve and extend the legacy of President Obama. We are One Chicago. Obama's presidency continues to yield a clear diagnosis of the racial climate in the United States. The political and personal assaults against the president and the First Lady have been vituperative, in most cases, downright nasty. And you know what I'm talking about. Local news accounts provide diagnosis of the climate of this city, the need for social services and economic revitalization as both South and West Sides continue to prepare for the next transition. These are not challenges that the expertise coming from one university alone can address. Honoring the president's legacy will require strong collaboration. Both universities present today represent strengths. We are One Chicago. The University of Illinois at Chicago, the largest urban public research university in the city, with a diverse population of students that mirrors the nation's diversity, is positioned to host the Presidential Library. The University of Chicago has a long and storied history. They too are positioned to host the Presidential Library. There is rich social and political capital within Chicago's South and West Side communities. However, there has been a tone of balkanization of UIC versus UFC, South Side versus West Side, private versus public, much in the same way we have witnessed the balkanization of this American president. As a city, we must resist this. We want to extend and support the vision and honor and shape the broader humanity of the president. We want others to join us. However, our task will be more difficult if we allow this quest for the library to balkanize our city. As we convene today, it is my hope that four things become clear. Number one, we must not balkanize African Americans on Chicago's South and West Sides. Number two, we must not balkanize private and public universities. Number three, we must not balkanize this great American city. And number four, we must not contribute to the ongoing balkanization of this city's president and his post-presidency. To that end, the University of Illinois Chicago welcomes UFC's collaboration, and we know that UFC feels the same way. If done well and planned wisely by the foundation and our city's mayor, there will be no winners or losers, but we will all win. This is the message we must send to the president and the First Lady. We are One Chicago.